The Indian Army and Indian Air Force will win any war against Pakistan because Munir and company do not even control Pakistani nukes. This according to a former top CIA officer who was stationed inside the troubled South Asian nation. In an interview with ANI, CIA agent claimed, "When I was stationed in Pakistan in 2002, I was told unofficially that the Pentagon controlled the Pakistani nuclear arsenal, that Musharraf had turned control over to the United States because he was afraid of exactly what you just described," unquote. Now, this was due to fear of nuclear weapons going into the hands of terrorists. John Kiriakou, the former CIA officer, also elaborated how Indian defense forces would prevail and that Pakistanis would lose if they continue to provoke New Delhi. In other words, Pakistanis won't be able to use their own so-called nukes in any war with India, and the nuclear blackmail is just empty threats. We'll get you other details of this bombshell interview done by news agency ANI on how Musharraf surrendered Pakistani nukes to the United States of America out of fear that the nukes would fall in the hands of terror groups operating inside Pakistan, some of whom have deep links to the Pakistani military. The US essentially bought the Pakistani military and leadership in exchange for millions and millions of dollars in aid. So Pakistan's nuclear stockpile is controlled by the Pentagon and not by Rawalpindi's military generals, but Pakistan does not agree with this officially, and such an admission would be a huge embarrassment for Islamabad. Pakistani nuclear blackmail is not new to India, but their nuclear blackmail will just not work. For years, Pakistan has tried to leverage its nuclear status to keep India from responding forcefully against the repeated cross-border terror attacks inside India. During Operation Sindoor, launched by India in retaliation to the brutal Pahalgam terror attack in which 26 innocent Indians lost their lives, Pakistan again repeatedly threatened India with nuclear escalation as a means to blackmail and avoid an open conflict. But here's how India had responded to it. Prime Minister Modi on the 12th of May reiterated India's stance. He stressed India will no longer be deterred by nuclear blackmail in its resolve to strike terror hideouts across the border. Then, during his speech on India's 79th Independence Day, Prime Minister Modi echoed, quote, "India will no longer tolerate nuclear blackmail. If the enemy dares to commit any more misadventure, Indian armed forces will give them a befitting reply. India has decided that blood and water will not flow together," unquote. Then on his own 75th birthday in September, Prime Minister Modi praised the success of Operation Sindoor and added, "This is new India. It is not scared of anyone. New India is not afraid of nuclear threats," unquote. The Chief of the Defense Staff, General Anil Chauhan, also hailed Prime Minister Modi's posture on nuclear blackmail from Pakistan.
"India will not be deterred by nuclear blackmail."
Post-Operation Sindoor, our Prime Minister has said that India will not be deterred by nuclear blackmail. While the possibility of use of nuclear weapons in our context is low, but it would be prudent to take this into our security calculus. Radiological contamination requires different protocols for treatment and must be part of our training, unquote. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has also made very clear that Pakistani nuclear blackmail will not stop India from retaliation against future terror attacks. Jaishankar stated, "We are very clear that there will be no impunity for terror masterminds, that we will not deal with them any longer as proxies and spare the government which supports and finances and in many ways motivates them. We will not allow nuclear blackmail to prevent us from responding," unquote. Operation Sindoor was a turning point in Indian defense strategy, and it also exposed Pakistan's weak points. In the opening hours of the short war in May 2025, India launched precision strikes on terror infrastructure deep inside Pakistani territory and successfully destroyed 9 terror camps of UN-designated terror groups. Additionally, Indian forces neutralized all air defenses and then hit 11 well-defended Pakistani air bases with precision. The Indian Navy too was ready, and it had deployed 36 frontline naval assets with Karachi on its radar. The Indian Armada was led by aircraft carrier INS Vikrant along with submarines and BrahMos armed warships. But did India strike Pakistan's nuclear facility during Operation Sindoor? Multiple social media outlets claim that India conducted highly precision strikes with BrahMos missiles on Kirana Hills. Open source intelligence expert Damian Simon also claimed that satellite imagery had suggested that India did hit near one of the storehouses of Pakistan's nuclear warheads. But he also then elaborated that satellite imagery indicates that the strike may have been a warning strike by India and not an actual attack to cause subterranean implosion inside Pakistan. But what is the truth? Did Indian BrahMos missiles really strike Pakistan's nuclear stockpile at Kirana Hills? Now, the Indian government and the Indian Air Force has outrightly denied targeting Pakistani nuclear stockpile. During a press conference on the 12th of May, the Director General of Air Operations, Air Marshal A.K. Bharti, stated,
We've not hit Kirana Hills, whatever is there.
"Thank you for telling us Kirana Hills houses nuclear installations. We did not know about it," in what was a masterclass in sarcasm. MEA spokesperson Randir Jaiswal and the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, also denied reports of any nuclear radiation leak through a missile strike. IAEA stated, "We are aware of the reports. Based on information available to the IAEA, there was no radiation leak or release from any nuclear facility in Pakistan," unquote. But the Indian Air Force did target and strike the Sargodha Air Base in Pakistan in order to establish that all of Pakistani air bases are within India's reach and that India can target any site, any military site inside Pakistan whenever the need arises. Sargodha Air Base does have a link to an underground storage facility also linked to Kirana Hills. So the next time Pakistan issues nuclear blackmail, do remember that these are nothing more than empty threats. But do you believe the former CIA officers claim that the United States actually controls Pakistani nukes? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.